Hi and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar session. The topic for today's webinar is sourcing home appliances, strategies to reduce cost and risks with quality management. Now, my name is Victor and I'm the host for this webinar. Thank you all for joining this HQTS exclusive webinar series. And in today's session, we have invited two speakers from our HQTS India operations, and that is Mr. Mukesh Srivastava and Mr. Jayesh Kendule. Mr. Mukesh Srivastava is the Deputy General Manager of HQTS Group India. He has an MBA from Mishra College of Business Management and a combined experience of over 20 years in the third-party quality control and laboratories industries in India. He will provide an introduction of HQTS India operation and our services. Now, we also have another speaker, Mr. Jayesh Kendule, who has an engineering degree from the University of Mumbai and is a HQTS specialist in the electrical and home appliance segment in India. Now, he has extensive experience of product testing and standards in the electronic segments, as well as quality inspections and audits. Welcome, guys. Thank you. So at the end of the webinar, we will have a question and answer session where you will be able to ask the speakers any form of questions that you may have. It's important to note that this webinar will be recorded and it will be available on demand after the webinar, and the report of which Mr. Kendule will be presenting will be shared to everyone after the webinar. Now, without further ado, I would like to introduce our first speaker for today, Mr. Mukesh.
Thanks, Victor. And hello and good afternoon, everyone. It's my pleasure to welcome you to today's topic, which will be a span of 45 minutes from we start. And today's topic will be mostly covered on home appliances sourcing, where our technical expert, Jayesh, will cover how we reduce the risk of complete quality as well as ecosystem in your supply chain, with few case studies and sample reports. So allow me to start with a brief introductions. As Victor shared that I'll be walking you through a brief introductions of HQTS Group and presence in India. Taking forward, we are almost 37 years old, young organization, I would say, and having global presence and presence across Asia region predominantly, and part of Europe and US and Australasia. And corporate, we are headquartered in China, and India, we are headquartered in Delhi. We provide one-stop full quality system services, where we cover mostly supply chain management and monitoring, product inspections, like right from sourcing of suppliers to vendors to pre-shipment inspections, during production inspections, like QC checks and pre-shipment, and followed by container loading supervision. So we support in complete ecosystem of your inspection and supply chain ecosystem. Then followed by, we have testing services. We have laboratories across locations where we support product testing services and reports as per various local and international standards. Then we offer audit services across different standards. Again, ISO and EN standards. We also have exclusive services for GTS, government trade, where we support COC services predominantly like Iraq, and very soon we have few other country nominations like Uganda and Saber also, including few of the other countries where we have COI certification services also available. And overall, we also provide consulting and training to industry in this particular industry domain. In India, we started our operation in 2008 as a liaison office, And since then, it has been almost over 10 years. And formally, we got registered in India in 2016 and incorporated as local entity. And we are known as Healthman India Quality Testing Services Private Limited. Currently, we are headquartered in Delhi, and we have a span of services across India. We have resident technical experts, inspectors present across India, and we plan to have further expansions in coming year, where we look forward to support our local customers with very competitive and quality inspection services locally. Globally, we have almost 80 locations. We are present. Either we have full-fledged offices or resident offices are there. And we have across 2,000 plus working professionals with us. And currently we have about 50,000 and above customers, global customers, including India, all across. Since we are in business, so definitely we need to comply to many certifications and accreditations. So as basic as we are certified as per ISO 17020 for inspection bodies, and again for test labs, ISO 17025. And also we are member of many key global councils and agencies, like we are member of TIC Council, then again the International Federation of Inspection Agencies, one of the leading body to look after inspection agencies. Then also for textiles, American Association of Textile Chemist and Colorist Association membership. Then we are also member of Toy Industry Associations. Again, American Apparel and Footwear Association. We are member of this esteemed association. And we also have become now locally in India, Buyers Agent Association in India. Followed by, we have a few other accreditations to support our certification, testing, and predominantly inspection services across different regions and countries. So this is quick brief about HQTS Group, and I would now invite Jayesh. He will take forward our discussion forward on the technical topic. So Jayesh, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Mukesh ji. Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for all the attendees to join this webinar. So, as said, I am the technical expert and the sales lead for Pan India customers to support for their electrical and electronics and home appliance inspection and auditing needs. So basically, as said by Mukesh ji over the brief introduction of the HQTS, what are the portfolios we are handling in the scope of our services. Now, as per the today's topic, I'll introduce and show all of you the reports which we have analyzed, and pastly we have done the inspections for all of them. So there, so let me just give the brief about the main agenda. So our inspectors, which we have made the reports, we have analyzed those 40 reports, and based on that, on the major categories, we have mentioned like how the products are getting passed or the issues are faced in the quality reports, and to reduce that, how the strategies we can implement to help to make the more quality product with the reduction in the recalling or the failure of such kind of products. So just let me go with the my side. So let me just share some brief that with the electrical appliances and equipment was the third most alerted category in 2021 by the safety gate alert in the Europe. So this safety gate alert is basically a European rapid alert system which mentions, which is for the non-food products actually. So with the electrical and electronic appliances, major issues mentioned by the safety gate alert is actually the injuries, like the major injuries with the electrical shocks and such kind of heating injuries with the heating equipments. So other chemical risks which involves the, as per the European norms, it is for the restricted and hazardous chemicals. The more and more market is growing, the restrictions are being imposed, and there is more concern of the product and the component which is having the over limit of the chemical compositions mentioned by the EU committee. So so you need to be have the compliance adhering with those chemical limits as well. So these chemical risks are having the major concern in European regions actually. So third one is the like choking and the electrical shocks. This is basically due to some faulty, like outdated outlets or the switches, and the such kind of issues are majorly facing in the household equipment. As as a scene, like why the quality control in the home appliances and E&D industry is actually so important. Because see, when you go ahead with like any of the ITV equipment or the such kind of equipment, you are not having that many of the usage. Like take an example of the TV screen. Actually, you are not having any physical contact with the televisions and all. But when you get into like home appliances, like kitchen appliances or refrigerators or such kind of things, so the consumer is having the very high contact rate, like they are having the physical contact with such kind of products, and the frequency of usage is quite also high because it is a daily base a daily base use product actually. So it is having the positive influence the operational lifespan of your product and the prevent costly product failures. So the inspections can be start from the design phase till the product is loaded into the container. So it is having the phase by phase manner. If particular manufacturer is following all the quality norms and the compliance norms, so obviously it is having the very positive influence over the lifespan of the particular product in the, and the reduction in the failures of or the rejections or the recalls of the particular product. It is often mandatory according to the government regulations. Like each and every country is having their own specific compliance requirement. Like in India, BIS is there, in European CE marking. Like in the particular other countries, the own specific EMC and the safety requirements are there. So those regulations need to be adhered, and with the compliance inspections, you can just check whether those product at the component level as well, it is compliant or the not, by verifying the documents. So reduce the complaints and the disputes such as the order discrepancies and the quality defects. It is sometimes happens that the suppliers at the one end shows some different product, and while after the loading, there is something different product the end customer or the manufacturer receives. So to avoid such kind of disputes, the quality control can help. Quality control check can help you out in this. Contribute to the overall positive branding of your product. So obviously, from the design phase till the end of the cycle, till you receive your product at your own hand. So if the quality is maintained properly, so at the customer level, when you provide your product, launch the product into the market, so it will be obviously having a good impact over your branding and the image of the complete company. So what are the most common quality defects in the home appliance industry? So so to ensure that what are the defects, so I'll first, as I said, we have analyzed the 40 inspection reports in the home appliances. So few of the reports based on the product like vacuum cleaners, hair dryers, microwaves, refrigerators, air conditioners, we have analyzed. And based on the categories, we have mentioned those defects, like what are the defects are actually there and how to minimize or decrease those defects to ensure that the quality product receives at the customer level or the manufacturer level from the supplier end. So these are like a quantity, workmanship, field test, shipping mark, and packaging and labeling. These are the major parameters which we have analyzed and categorized based on those 40 reports. And this is like a template of how our report actually look like. And it is we mention our reports and or categorize our report based on the 3 parameters like confirm, pending and not confirm. If the inspected items is confirmed the specification requirements by the manufacturer which we provided to us, then it is fine. If it is a pending, like there are the minor or the non-specified issues were detected and depend upon the client's final decision to approve or disapprove the inspected item. So we keep it as in the pending section, and until and unless the manufacturer not issues like giving the nod to go ahead, till then we keep it in the pending section. And not confirm means like a major issues which are detected and it is not as per the specification mentioned by the manufacturer. So let's go ahead one by one, like what are the defects we have faced in the parameter wise. So first is the quantity. So quantity is one of the first step by the inspector is often open the cartons. Like when our inspector visits to the particular supplier facility, so we open up the complete carton and measure like complete count of the number of piece by piece, like to ensure that the same number is mentioned by the customer in the order form and same number is available in the particular carton. So our data actually shows that 80% of the inspection met this criteria, and the 20% is which is having the failure or not confirmed issue is due to that the sometimes the inspector was not unable to the count the items as per the packaging was mixed, because at the supplier end it is not always the systematic way to handle and provide the complete information and to in the storage to keep the particular product in the manner. So the inspector faces the problem in counting of those products. So, or sometime even the manufacturer or the supplier restricts the inspector to count the item, though their end manufacturer requesting the same, but the supplier is prohibiting the inspector to not go ahead with the quantity measures. The second point is the workmanship. So as mentioned, like home appliances inspection includes the on-site observations, like it is it can be on the supplier end before shipment or at the time of loading shipment as well. So this includes the searching of any physical defects that may be negatively influence the product or the fail to conform to the expectations. So 45% of our inspections fully met this criteria. So the 45% is actually completely passed report, and major issues happen as the 35%, like which is having the pending issues. So pending issues, we will see in the further slide that what are those pending issues or the not confirmed categories is actually meaning. So scratch marks, so the dirt marks, the paint peeling and abrasions. Certain times there are certain marks from the supplier end on their product which is actually not the defects but identification mark or the certain marks which end required, like manufacturer or the our customer is not sharing with us but the supplier is having on their product. So we keep it as a pending status and confirm from our customer that this is fine to pass the product or keep it as a non-confirmed status. So third point which we have mentioned is actually the field test and the measurement. So the field test is actually the checking that the complete product is as per the agreed specifications and the international standard, like checking of the compliance. It is as per the compliance of the particular country requirement and mentioned by our customer. Only the 25% of the inspections actually fully met this criteria. What are the major, like 65% is having in still uh, the pending issues is like a carton drop check. This is like a major check we are doing at the field test at the supplier level, and we are facing major issues is due to the end supplier is prohibiting the inspector to check the carton drop test. The rub tape test, the power related test, like it varies from the product to product. Like some the mentions is here is high pot consumptions voltage depends. Certain time customer requires the brightness or IP test, IP check or certain kind of test. So we verify at the customer supplier level depending upon the product, and the factory does not allow the inspector to perform the certain test, which is having very common issue. The other one is like a style, color, and documentation. So actually, the HQT inspector, as per the customer requirements, inspect the product as per the specifications, like the CDF. form which we receive. So we check as per the product specification is matching at like each and every component level, and everything we checked out where it is matching as per the CDF or not. And the instruction manuals, like in certain cases, if the instruction manual product is having a certain kind of specifications mentioned by the manufacturer, our customer actually, they said that this is particular specifications are available and this is particular applications of the particular product is having. But when we check with the instruction manuals, we verify that those instructions are actually mentioned as per requirement of the product or not. And only 25% of our inspections has actually met this particular criteria. The issues which mentioned here is like the discrepancies what found between the instruction manual and the inspected samples. Like we will see a complete report for this, like how we actually get such kind of issues while our inspector visits and analyze. Like instruction manual is having certain different kind of photographs or the image of particular component, and in the actual final product there is certain different component is used. So actually the product is working quite fine, but it is having the discrepancy at the instruction manual and the final product level. So the common issues are like the factory could not provide the construction data form, like CDF. Certain times the supplier is not able to share us the CDF. The marks and the stains in the instruction manuals. The instruction manuals which are provided is having the marks or the stains. So it is not quite good identified, like the issue is with the product or the mentioned data, or with it is having the human error. The discrepancies in the instruction manuals, like which is shown in the image beside. The end is like shipping marks, packaging, and the labeling issues. So this is like the complete product is actually now analyzed. Now we will go with the marking and the labeling and the packaging way. The way the manufacturer has packaged and the label the goods can influence the products or of surviving a long journey through harsh shipping conditions and the customs. So as like major suppliers, the export or the import is happening, and in such conditions, the product is shipped through the seaways, and it requires quite a long journey and the harsh environments, like the loading and the unloading conditions, which is uncertain actually. So in such cases, our pre-shipment and the loading shipment inspection actually takes in the particular, and our data has showed that the 60% of such kind of inspections met this criteria. And the issues which we have faced in such is like goods were not packaged by the time of the inspector was on site. Like manufacturer, our customer is putting up the request for the inspection at the supplier level, but supplier end is not having the complete preparation of the whole complete sample preparation, or the complete lot is not yet packaged well, and there were no shipping marks on the packaging is available. Certain times there is no marking or the labeling is available as per the requirement. So as like all the categories I have mentioned over here, so as you've seen, what are the takeaways from our this particular our inspection reports and the analysis, that home appliances is highly complex products, and it requires a lot of time and effort and advanced manufacturing techniques to produce, like from the design phase to the end product finalization stage. There are the multiple quality checks and the compliance checks is happening at the manufacturer and the R&D level at the manufacturer level. So as seen from the past industries with working with the major manufacturer, what I have personally analyzed is like certain times the product is actually working fine with the safety requirements. See, when we adhered with the compliance requirement, safety and EMC requirement, like electromagnetic radiations reports, those are the major parameters are checked for the home appliance categories. So the safety requirement is fulfilled sometime, but the EMC requirement is not, because of certain one component issue is there. You need to be go ahead at again the development stage. You need to again change the particular component. Then again you have to do the compliance and all the things. So this whole journey of the complete product finalization takes a lot of time and the effort, and a lot of chunk of money goes in to develop one particular product. So to ensure that the end manufacturer or the end customer here in India or in any of the country where we are importing or the exporting should have the product as per the requirement, as per the specified or as per the finalized, this particular quality check and the inspections kicks in and having the major role to perform. Like after customer finalizes one product from their side and they put up the particular order or the with the end supplier to manufacturer or any of the OEM to have the particular day by day inspection or the quality checks from the timely intervals, it helps that to maintain the quality as per the requirement, to which actually helps in your branding and the customer trust and all. So what our data shows that the buyer should pay special attention to ensure the factory has produced the required number of items. So this is when our inspector actually visits it, what are the parameters, like what are the special attentions need to be keep in mind. So actually the specified number of items should be there to analyze by the inspector before the inspector arrives, and which includes actually the packaging, labeling of the goods, and provide the relevant documentation from the supplier end. Pay extra attention to the visual defects such as paint marks and the scratches. So like these are the very minor things sometimes which is not identified at the supplier while manufacturing, during manufacturing stage, but after the manufacturing such kind of defects can cause a major impact over the product visibility or the product impression. Keep in mind that the factory may not facilitate or allow the inspector to perform the certain tests such as the carbon drop test. So this is the major issues which our inspector faces, and our customers should understand and have the proper communication with their suppliers to allow our inspector to uh, like to allow us them to do the certain kind of their required test and the inspections. So it will help the end customer to have the good quality product and on the timely manner with the minimal cost requirement due to the rejections and the recalling kind of things. So now I think this is like a particular strategies which we are which we can be reduce the cost and the risk using the quality management techniques. So the three major like it is like have very highly information kind of thing, not so deep, like sourcing of the good from the reputable vendors. So it is the legal obligations of the manufacturer and the supplier not to supply a product that could cause a damage or the injury. So it is always having like it is the business having such kind of principles not to provide a damaged or the wrong product to their end customers. Always perform your due diligence before entering into an agreement. An optimal strategy is to routinely audit the vendor's manufacturing process. So in quality management or the supplier verification, we actually checks in periodically manner behalf of the our customer, like the supplier is having a good quality environment to produce the particular product or the component which they supplies to for the end product manufacturing. Verifying the compliance with the market regulations, like each and every country is having their own standards and the set of product safety regulations requirements. Make sure the compliance has been taken care by the manufacturer. So while the like in today's scenario, the end product compliance is mandatory as well as the component level product compliance is mandatory. So with our inspections, you can just verify whether the reports which have mentioned by provided by the suppliers is actually meeting with the particular component is matching or not. So we can help you out in this particular verification. Ensure the necessary documentation and the technical documentation is available upon the request, and you can use the objective third-party inspection agencies to help you to verify their compliance. So after this, the inspect the goods before the shipment. This is having the this is a major role of the like you can say a key service which can be utilized by any of the customer or the manufacturer. Like materials purchased from the same source may not always be the same, And variability is the part of the manufacturing process. Like in today's scenario, today's market, as in certain times there is a scarcity of the raw materials or the particular component happens. So every manufacturer is relying on the multiple suppliers for their products. And in certain time this happens that each required product is each provided product or the component is not always having the same quality. So and it is often impossible for the manufacturer to get the same materials every time from the market. So substandard raw material will surface in the end product. So so in certain cases actually the not compliant or the any of the alternate component is used which is not having the which is not matching the specifications provided by our customer. The quality inspections are an effective tool to identify the quality defects in earlier stages. So once like a product is dispatched and shipped from the supplier end to their end customer, the end customer can't do much more file for the repairing or certain things. So you have to either the recall or the scrap the complete container. So it will eventually increase the lot of amount of time and the cost in particular. So quality inspections from the earlier stage will obviously reduce such kind of thing. And pre-shipment inspection is the cost effective method. Like it is having our major portfolio works with the pre-shipment inspection. It is the cost effective, like we can use that particular pre-shipment for counting of the particular samples or the quality check, because it is almost the 80% completion stage of the product and it is before the dispatch. So in between you can check whether the supplier have manufactured the same quality product or not. So for this particular we will based on the report like which we have presented all this particular thing and the strategies which we have mentioned, let's have a quick look and the glimpse of our the sample reports which we our inspector have made for different kitchen appliance and the home appliance product, to give like how our actual report look alike and what inspector actually looks in for this particular. So this particular inspection report is for the coffee machine. So this is the general how our inspection result we mentions, which is either having the confirm, not confirm, and the pending status. So confirm means there is no issues. The not confirmed is having the issues which are major concern, and the pending is like here you can see there is a 2 mm gap on every product at the backside of the coffee machine. So it is either having it is either fine to go ahead or not. It depends upon the customer nod whether it is a fine or not. And in certain cases like having the labeling issues, the style, color, and documentation, the rating voltage we find as the 220 to 240 watt instead of 220 to 240 volt. So such kind of issues we face, and we mention in our report particular. In the pending we mention what are the major pending issues and what are the minor pending issues, and based on the customer confirmation we proceed further. So we here are the defect photos which we have mentioned. So this is how our particular reports look alike. How all the major results are fine or not, and every result we mention in our report. Like how the packaging is done, how it looks, everything is shared by photos and the videos as per request by the customer. It is very brief template which we are having. We can share upon your request or available on our websites as well. You can check it out anytime you required, or based on your request you can drop us an inquiry and we can share you the sample report for your product requirement. So this is how the document and the instruction manual is analyzed, and the discrepancies which we found. There is one another report with the juicer. Actually, the same case we analyze the report and see the this is the particular pending issues which we identified. this particular mark is available on every product. This particular mark is available on every product which is not mentioned by the manufacturer, our customer, but it is available on each and every product. So we take a confirmation from the customer whether it is fine to go ahead or this is having a certain kind of issue actually. So once upon the customer finalize like this is fine to go ahead, we go ahead with that. These are the stains and the scratch marks is available over the product. So either it depends upon the customer whether to pass the product or not. We provide the clear and the impartial results with the unbiased results with the our end customer. So this is one with the barbecue machine and the same case, like what are the discrepancies we have found. This is the particular mentioned image in the CDF or the instruction manual, and this is the actual product. So the product is working actually fine and everything is fine, but it is having the discrepancy with the instruction manual and the final product. At the component level, we are having such issues. So this is the particular plate which is having the hole in the middle, but the final product is a complete metal sheet. So this is the actual found. So this is how we keep in the pending status, and by this how we analyzed our complete reports and made that the presentation to all of you. So I guess it's the things are done from my side, and the every required document we can share once upon your request. So now I request the Victor to go ahead with the question and answer series. If everyone, any one of you having any questions, you can just go ahead so we can answer you based on that.
Thank you so much, Jayesh and Mukesh, for being part of our webinar series here today. And thank you for sharing such an insightful information about the home appliance, Jayesh. Thank you. So as Jayesh mentioned, if you have any questions, please feel free to send your questions in the chat box and we will get to that. And in the meantime, I have a couple of questions that I would like to go ahead and ask Jayesh and Mukesh. So how about we start with you, Mukesh?
Yeah, sure.
I wanted to, maybe we can have a quick introduction as well about HQTS operations in India currently, and what are the future plans that we have in India?
Yeah, currently we are headquartered in Delhi for India operation, and we have around a strength of 35 plus resources. Most of our resources are technical resources, QCs and inspectors. And we have presence across India where we are supporting our customers across different locations, spanning from consumer to industrial product categories. Consumer products, we handle textile, hard goods, electrical, food, packaged foods, retail and e-commerce based products. Non-consumer, that is industrial side, we have renewable energy like solar, wind, power plants, industrial machineries, equipments, and also we support EPC and infrastructure projects. So we have currently technical resources available in India. Also, we are planning to expand in following years, especially 2023, we are stepping up to set up our office footprint in western part of the India and southern part of the India, preferably Mumbai, Pune or Chennai. We set up our offices where our resident representatives can operate out along with our commercial and technical teams can support local customers. On testing side, we are globally known as inspection company. However, we also support testing services to our customers in India. Currently, we don't have any lab which we own as HQTS Group. However, we have partnership with our key labs in different product categories, and I can share like one of the key lab we work with where we have one-to-one arrangement is Spectro Eurofins lab based out in Delhi NCR. So most of the consumer goods can be tested there. And of course, we can support customers in complete ecosystem of their compliance requirement.
Thank you so much for that information, Mukesh, and for sharing more information about our India operations. And I'd like to go ahead and ask a couple of questions to Jayesh as well. So when we're talking about entering international markets, selling home appliance in international markets, now, what would you recommend businesses to take? What kind of actions should they take to reduce the risks that are associated to this?
So see, actually, while to enter into the international market, obviously you require the quality of the product. So it starts from right from the sourcing of the goods supplier. So as like HQTS, we provide the service to identify a supplier for particular component or the product to supplier verifications. So it is having the QC from like rightly from the design stage, the prototype stage, the compliance, and the market stage, like where we launch the product actually in the market. So the companies, the inspection companies like HQTS, we are help out to our customers to maintain the quality and to adhering to the compliance requirement. So like final product should not have the recall or the rejection kind of issues. So this is like particular in such cases only the companies like inspection companies plays a major role to ensure like our customer is having the same quality, good quality product.
Thank you for sharing that. And we also looked today at some of the inspections reports that we have done in HQTS, and we looked at you introduced the results from our analysis of previous inspections. Now in quality control, there are different types of inspections. I think the ones that we looked into today was for pre-shipment inspections. So when an importer is looking for a type of inspection service, what would you say is the most effective when looking for quality defects? What would be your advice? Which type of inspection?
The major like where the end customer is requesting like what kind of inspection service we shall go ahead. So we will recommend majorly with go ahead with the pre-shipment inspection and the quality check at that level, because it ensures that the customer meets up with that product meets up with the complete customer requirement as per the specifications before the product is shipped, or it is having almost 80% of the completion stage at the supplier end only. Before and after that, you can go ahead with the loading inspection, because certain time it happens like a pre-shipment is done quite good, everything is happens. Inspector done their inspection part in pre-shipment inspection, and after that there should not be any ambiguity like supplier have loaded certain different specification product into the container. So this two services I'll recommend, like PSI pre-shipment inspection and the loading inspection. Our end customer can look into it.
Great, thank you so much for sharing your insights on that. And now I think we are concluding the webinar. In case you had any questions here in the chat box, please feel free to note it down, and we will get back to all questions at the end of the webinar. We will of course send all of the replies through an email to everyone that have attended this webinar. So I would like to take the opportunity again to thank you all for attending our webinar, and I'll also like to express my gratitude to Jayesh and Mukesh for being a speaker at this webinar. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Victor. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone to join this webinar.